All right, this is the next video in the series that I've been doing on getting this old rototiller to work properly again. It has this 5 horsepower Briggs and Stratton engine on it. We're going to accomplish 2 things today, hopefully. First thing is this metal fuel tank is full of rust inside. And the other thing is this carburetor, the linkages are completely seized on there. We're going to take care of both of those things. Cross your fingers. Stay tuned. Hey everybody, thanks for coming back to Steve's Small Engine Saloon again. Thanks for tuning in. Check my website out right there when you get a chance. I think you'll like it. April's been working hard on that website. First thing we got to do right here is get this carburetor off of the tank. Phillips screwdriver. Pretty easy. There's, on this model right here, there's 3 screws. You got to get out. I have seen some of these stripped before, so if you want to put a little penetrating oil on those while you're taking those out or before you take those out, feel free to do that. It's not going to hurt anything. All right, last one right there. Now, that should just pull off of there. Gasket could be a little bit stuck. When you pull that out right there. Now look how dirty that intake, even that intake tube right there. Look at that. You see how that's covered in rust right there? That is the reason that we need to clean the tank out. All those little flakes of rust get stuck on there and it prevents the carburetor from bringing that fuel up because it's plugged. The intake filter on there is plugged. So I'm going to take that whole carburetor and put it in the ultrasonic cleaner. Before I do that though, I'm going to pull this apart a little bit. Let's start with something easy. Here's the main jet right here. What you need is a 1/2-inch wrench or a 13mm wrench to get this, this adjustment screw out. Right there. Put that aside. That actually looks really clean. Put that aside. Now you can see deep inside there, that is your jet. I can see from here that the hole is clear, but there's a couple little holes underneath of that. So I want to pull that out before we put it in the ultrasonic cleaner, just so the ultrasonic cleaner can really get in there and do a better job. There's the jet right there. Yeah, it actually looks nice and clean too. Put that aside. Next thing we want to do is right where that diaphragm is on the side, right there. 4 little bolts holding that down. You just need a little flat carburetor adjusting screwdriver to get those screws out. All right, those screws are out now. Sometimes this little cover will just pop right off of there. And sometimes it's stuck on really good, like this one is. You can just pry on it a little bit. Oh, there it comes. All right. Now, you see inside of there, there's this little ring and this little spring right here. Put that aside too. And don't lose those because that's very important. Have a look at this diaphragm right here. Wow, that diaphragm is like really stretched out and crispy. These 2 little flappers right here are really worn out good. So when we put this back together, we are definitely going to replace that with a brand new one of those diaphragms. Put all that stuff aside. And that's about all I can really take off of there. Believe it or not, that's it. Let's put that whole thing in the ultrasonic cleaner. Give me a second. I'm going to put it in the ultrasonic cleaner, by the way, with just nothing but hot water. I'm going to put it in at 50. I'm going to set it at 50 degrees Celsius, which I believe is 122 degrees Fahrenheit. It's hot water. Give me a sec. All right. She's in there cooking right now. I took it outside so we can't hear the thing. Boy, are those annoying, I got to admit. All right. Let's have a look at the tank now. You know, it's actually not as bad as I at first thought originally, but it's still pretty bad. All those flakes are still going to get caked on the bottom of that intake screen. But let's try it out. This is what I do. Gravel, right there. Everybody has access to gravel on the side of the road, out in your gravel driveway. Some people use nuts and bolts. I've heard some people say they use uncooked rice. Gravel works good for me. Just like that. Couple handfuls of that in there. All right, I'm gonna go outside. I'm gonna fill that up about maybe a third full of water. Not quite half, maybe a third I'm gonna do, and then I'm gonna shake the heck out of it. Let's go. All right, so what I did there, but that was about 60 seconds of shaking the crap out of that thing, and then garden hose up there, rinsed it all out as good as I could inside, and I actually took my air compressor and blew it out off as best I could, and especially inside to make sure all that water's gone. Let's have another look in there now. See, now that's not bad. That's actually, it's not perfect, but it is way, way better than it was before. I'm gonna run with that. I think that's good enough for me. All right, let's put that aside and check out that carburetor. That carburetor's been in there for, I just checked it, I think it was 40 minutes. So give me a second again. All right, that is much, much better. Look at that screen. Really nice. I blew it off as best as I could too. Blow out everything with the air compressor gun. And it looks actually really good. The linkages, see this? The linkages they're moving a little bit, but I'm still scared to death that if I push on those too hard, I'm gonna break something. So it is loosened up a bit. I'm gonna use my little automatic transmission fluid and acetone trick here to free those up a bit. I'm just gonna put some of that on each pivot point and work that a bit. Oh, that moved. It is moving. Oh, look at that! Look at this! Look at this! Whoa. Look at that stuff is amazing. I'm not even kidding you. Look at that. That is exactly how those are supposed to move now. And I didn't break anything. Nice. I love it when a plan comes together. Okay, so I edited just now. I did spend a couple more minutes on this choke with the ATF and the automatic transmission fluid. And I did finally get the choke is working now too. Took a little bit more effort, but now everything appears to be working on there. So I'm gonna put this back together. We got the spring and that little washer goes in first. So let's go here. We put that diaphragm back on like that and cover back on. Screws back in. And that jet goes back in just like you took it out, and the little adjusting needle goes back in after that. Okay, I'm putting the carburetor back on now. You see this gasket right here? I have to replace that gasket because just by the look of the discoloring around here, I really think that's gonna leak. For the price of one of these new gaskets right here, I'm putting another one on. All right, 2 more problems down. Everything's clean on there. Everything looks like it's working properly. Hey, by the way, I know some of you out there are going to say, well, you do that with the rocks and it's scraping off the protective coating that's in this metal tank. And now it's going to rust out faster again. What do you think? Put your comments down underneath this video. Tell me if you think that's a bad idea or not using those rocks in there. I've been doing that for years and it's always worked for me. That's 2 more things down on this rototiller. Now it's time for us to put it back on the engine, put the engine back on the tiller, and finally fire this thing up. There's a couple other things I need to show you on that tiller, setting the carburetor and whatnot before we fire that up. That's going to be on the next video. It's going to come soon. Put some comments down, like I said. Subscribe to my channel. Share it with your friends. Thumbs up button, maybe. That'd be cool. Want to watch something else right now? Watch that video right there next. Click on that one. Until the next video coming up when we're actually going to start this thing is coming soon. Cheers. Steve out.